You know, in the world of high-performance computing, some years are just bigger than others. But for AMD, 2025 wasn't just big, it was, in their words, defining. So today, we're going to break down exactly how this one company managed to harness the AI explosion to deliver a truly historic year, and what it all means for the future of tech. All right, let's just start with the headline number, shall we? $34.6 billion. That is AMD's staggering revenue for 2025. But look, this isn't just a big number. It's proof of a perfectly timed strategy right in the middle of an AI gold rush. And that's the story we're unpacking. Now, to put that 34.6 billion into perspective, that's a 34% jump in just 1 year. In a market this competitive, you just don't see growth like that by accident. It's the result of a very specific, and as we're about to see, a very successful strategy. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the record-breaking year overall, then we're going to dive deep into the AI engine that fueled the whole thing. After that, we'll look at how AMD is also powering our PCs and gaming. And finally, we'll look ahead to see what's next on their journey. So what does a defining year actually look like on paper? Well, it means pretty much rewriting the record books, right across the board, from top-line revenue all the way down to cash flow. And you don't have to take my word for it. AMD's own chair and CEO, Dr. Lisa Su, framed it perfectly. She called it a defining year. And this quote really gets to the heart of it. The success wasn't just about one product hitting it big. It was about this massive, broad-based wave of demand for their core technology in a world that is suddenly starving for more computing power. And you can see that success flows right down the line. We already saw the $34.6 billion in revenue, but look at the net income, $6.8 billion. That's a 26% increase. This shows incredible profitability and just how strong their operations are, all while they're investing like crazy to stay ahead of the curve. Okay, so where is all this explosive growth really coming from? Well, the answer, in large part, is the data center. You can think of it as the heart of the modern internet, and right now, it's the engine room for the entire AI revolution. Get a load of this number, $5.4 billion. Now, that's not for the whole year. That's the revenue from their data center segment in the fourth quarter alone. It's a brand new record, and it's a huge signal that demand isn't just strong, it's actually accelerating. And just so we're all on the same page, when we say data center segment, we're talking about the heavy machinery of the digital world. This is the stuff like the server CPUs that run all the cloud services we use every day, and those super powerful GPUs, the AI accelerators that are needed to train and operate these complex AI models. Now, AMD's strategy here is actually pretty genius in its simplicity. It's basically a two-pronged attack. First, you provide the brains of the data center with their ePike server CPUs. Then, you provide the brawn, all that muscle for the heavy AI workloads, with their Instinct GPUs. Let's see how that's playing out. So, starting with the brains, their APIC server CPUs have become the processor of choice for the modern data center. I mean, these are the absolute workhorses that manage everything from your favorite streaming service all the way to massive corporate databases. And their growth here has been, well, absolutely meteoric. They're now powering nearly 1,600 different cloud offerings from giants like AWS and Google. And what's more, the number of businesses choosing to build their own data centers with EPYC more than doubled last year alone. That's a massive vote of confidence from the entire industry. Okay, so with the brains firmly in place, let's talk about the brawn, the Instinct AI accelerators. If the EPYC processors are the foundation, then these GPUs are the rocket boosters. They provide the sheer computational power needed for things like large language models and other mind-bending AI applications. And the impact is just undeniable. Look at this. The data center segment jumped from $3.86 billion in Q4 of 2024 to $5.4 billion just 1 year later. That is a 39% surge, and it's fueled directly by those Instinct GPUs being rolled out at a massive scale. And according to Dr. Su, this isn't some short-term trend. She calls it a multi-year demand supercycle. And that right there is the core belief that's driving AMD's whole strategy. The idea that the world's need for high performance and AI computing is really just getting started. But here's what's so fascinating to me. This isn't just a data center story, not at all. AMD's success in 2025 was incredibly broad, and it stretched right into the computers on our desks and the consoles in our living rooms.
So while the data center is clearly the biggest piece of the pie at 5.4 billion, check this out. Their client and gaming segment is a total powerhouse in its own right, bringing in almost $4 billion in just the fourth quarter. This diversification is a huge part of their strength.
And if we break that down, wow, their client business, that's your Ryzen CPUs for PCs and laptops, had a record quarter, hitting $3.1 billion as those chips just flew off the shelves. And then on the gaming side, higher sales of their semi-custom chips, that's the stuff powering your consoles, along with their Radeon graphics cards, added another $843 million. It's so clear they are just firing on all cylinders. So after a year like that, a record year, what comes next? You don't post numbers like these by standing still, that's for sure. AMD is aggressively investing to ride this AI supercycle for years and years to come. And here's their plan for staying ahead. This timeline shows a relentless pace of innovation. They're ramping up the new MI350 series right now, but they're already launching the even more powerful MI400 series this year. And they're not stopping there. The next generation MI500 is already slated for 2027, built on cutting-edge 2-nanometer tech, which basically means way more power packed into a smaller, more efficient chip. This whole roadmap is what underpins some incredibly ambitious financial targets. I mean, they're aiming to grow revenue at over 35% annually for the next 3 to 5 years and generate over $20 in earnings per share. These are the kinds of goals you set when you believe your new growth trajectory is really just beginning. So ultimately, what this all means is that whether you're working in the cloud, training an AI model, editing a video on your PC, or playing the latest blockbuster game, there's a really, really good chance that AMD technology is right at the heart of that experience. So after a year they themselves call defining, and with a clear roadmap ahead, the question isn't just whether AMD can keep up. The real question is, are they positioned to become one of the fundamental pillars that will lead this new era of AI-driven computing? Based on 2025, they've made a very, very powerful opening argument.